And breaking news tonight on the man accused of attacking Republican gubernatorial candidate Lee Zeldin at a Parrington rally 2 days ago. He was in front of a federal magistrate today. David Jakubonis of Fairport was formally charged with assaulting a member of Congress in federal court. Jakubonis is accused of approaching Zeldin during a rally, swinging sharpened brass knuckles like the one you're seeing there, and saying, quote, "You're done." He was subdued by others, as you're seeing at the rally. Zeldin was not hurt in the alleged attack, according to federal attorneys. If convicted, Jakubonis faces up to 10 years in federal prison.
Governor Hochul's office has yet to respond to charges from Republicans that the state's bail reform laws helped the attacker get out of jail. And Hochul's campaign is also taking a hit from critics who say a press release from the governor's campaign may have helped fuel the flames, putting Zeldin in danger. Video of New York's GOP candidate for governor under attack at a campaign event elicited a quick response from his opponent, Kathy Hochul, Thursday night. Governor Hochul tweeting, "Relieved to hear Congressman Zeldin was not injured and that the suspect is in custody. I condemn this violent behavior." But soon after, Hochul came under fire for a message from her campaign sent out the same day. A media advisory described as a spoof of Zeldin's public schedule, with times and a location denouncing Zeldin's position on abortion and gun rights.
Her campaign clearly thought that they were comedians yesterday and put out a very hateful spoof of Congressman Zeldin's rally schedule.
A charged New York Republican Chairman Nick Langworthy calling on Hochul for a public apology.
This was directly on her letterhead from her spokesman, and they were trying to walk it back last night. They don't get to walk this back. Kathy Hochul owes people a hell of a lot more than an apology. She owns part of this.
A new statement from President Biden condemning the attack and saying it defies democratic values, drawing more criticism.
Democrats in Albany, Democrats in Washington have responsibility. They have responsibility to establish that the principal responsibility of government is public safety, and instead have adopted policies that have set a climate that embraces and emboldens criminal behavior.
Mark Molinaro is a Republican candidate in New York's 19th congressional district. He also ran for governor against Andrew Cuomo. He says Hochul was irresponsible and fueled the flames against Zeldin, who does not have the security detail of a sitting governor.
She flies around in a state paid for helicopter, surrounded by security, living in a mansion. This state continues to ignore what ordinary people face. And maybe it's because those people in power don't have to confront the same issues.
When asked about the media release in question today, a campaign representative for Kathy Hochul said by phone she has no further comment. The New York GOP chairman said today that there was security at the Zeldin event that helped take down the attacker. But in light of yesterday's events, the party will be looking at ways to increase security for the remainder of Zeldin's campaign events.
Good morning and welcome back to Weekend Today in Central New York. We're joined this morning by Lieutenant Malinowski with the Syracuse Police Department. Lieutenant Malinowski, thanks for joining me this morning.
Good morning, and I always appreciate being here and keeping our community informed, so thank you.
Of course. We've seen a recent break-in at Cafe Kubal, and other businesses are beginning to close down around the country following shootings and crime. How is crime affecting the local economy?
Yeah, so I think we're finally starting to see the economic impact of crime and where it's actually, hitting our wallets and the businesses we enjoy to go to. So there was a really interesting story nationally where Starbucks was closing stores across the country because it was citing the reason was the safety of its employees. And again, this is a national crime spike we've seen, but we've also seen it with property crime. So when we're looking at people's businesses getting broken into and larcenies being committed, we're really starting to see that businesses and their employees don't feel safe. We've been talking about this a lot. We see people that get charged with violent crimes are released back on the street. So when you get charged with a property crime like larceny or burglary, and they're getting an appearance ticket, and again, there's this kind of soft approach on holding these criminals accountable, we're seeing this now finally an economic impact take place.
Another thing that we have been seeing locally in our community downtown, in Armory Square and Clinton Square, are open-air parties. I actually saw one just a few weeks ago when I was driving into work to do the morning show. Would you tell me a little bit about the effect that has on our community?
Yeah, so these open air parties are definitely an issue. The issue usually becomes that after the bars close at 2 a.m., people still want to keep partying, so they're going to find some sort of parking lot or location where they can congregate. These are definitely serious issues of concern because by the time everyone's been drinking, it's 3 in the morning. That's usually when the fights, stabbings, or shootings occur, and this is one that we just had recently. We obviously discourage that behavior. We're stepping up our enforcement, so we're going to have the state police coming in helping out. We're going to have enhanced patrols on our end, and then some help from county probation and parole are going to be here to try to discourage this behavior. But it's definitely something we're aware of. And again, if you see something like this, please do not be afraid to just give 911 a call and just let us know that there's several hundred people partying in some parking lot, because that call at least lets us know where it is, and then the police can respond to investigate.
There is now a lawsuit against the city and Syracuse police regarding the child that was taken into custody a few months ago. Do you have an update on that 8-year-old situation, as well as anything you want to say about them calling SPD a Nazi regime?
Yeah, so there's a lot to talk about here. We could probably take a whole episode to talk about this. I'll say that when a notice of claim is filed, I can't really speak too much to it, but I'll say that, yes, we did deal with that same child again from that chip incident back a few months ago. When I hear that inflammatory language that was used by those attorneys, it really does upset me, because I think about, the men and women of the Syracuse Police Department and all the law enforcement agencies across this country that go out every day and try to solve the crime that's taking place and protect the citizens of our community. And I would say, I haven't seen these attorneys on a homicide scene trying to get justice for the victims. I haven't seen these attorneys try to solve someone's larceny complaint if their bicycle got stolen or something like that. And again, to say that about all the officers that work in this department, it's upsetting. But I do think the majority of people understand why and what they said, and I think that people really know what the officers in this local community are all about. So I don't take much value into what was said, and again, it's just upsetting to hear that type of language.
Well, Lieutenant Malinowski, thank you so much for joining me this morning.